And we are live on the Believe in Monsters podcast. Dos amigos. Right now, we're having a little bit of a
technical difficulty.
technical difficulty with Jose, but that's okay. Luke and myself, Chris Krogman, here on a Tuesday night. About 15 minutes behind, but that's okay. I am Shy Bear at Shy Bears 1985. You can follow me on Twitter. You can follow the show at BIM_pod, POD. You can follow my main dude, Lucas, whatever his handle is, because he'll never put it on fucking StreamYard, so I can never remember where the 40 goes, but I think it's L_Barry40 or what is it, Lucas?
Lbarry_40.
That's the one. So I'll get it next week. Probably not though. So yeah, we got another preseason game in the books. We got some updated Hoquan news. We got another preseason game at the end of the week against the forever last preseason opponent, the Cleveland Browns. But Lucas, how are you tonight, my friend? You're looking pretty good.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm wearing a white shirt, so I'm glowing here on the screen. I'm great. I am fantastic. I am gearing up for football season. We got fantasy football drafts coming up. We got a big one on Friday, so looking forward to that. And this last preseason game should be pretty sweet. We got news from the Eberflus that the starters will probably play all half, so should be some good football, some good content for us to watch. And hopefully it holds us over for 2 more weeks then for the start of the season. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. I'm excited to see the last preseason game with a little bit of an extended snap count. I think, some of the talk around the Bears water cooler, if you will, is, Luke Getsy said these guys need game reps. Fields needs game reps, and then they played 6 to 10 snaps, probably because it's on a short week, which makes total sense. So I'm excited that they will be playing a lot more snaps, probably at least 20 to 25 snaps for first team offense. We'll see more of Jenkins and Borum on that right side. Lucas Patrick was back in practice today, so I doubt he'll be ready for Cleveland, but hopefully he's ready for week 1. Have you heard anything on
They said he wasn't practicing. He was just at practice,
right.
Which I guess he hasn't been there before. So that's a step in the right direction. But, yes, you are right. Hopefully that means he'll be back soon. He's got basically 2 weeks to heal up, get out there. Right now it sounds like Larry Borum has been named the starting right tackle over Riley Reif. So that's interesting. What do you make of that? I mean, we brought Reif in for whatever we paid him, $12 million, but a lot of it is incentive-laden. How do you feel about Borum kind of winning that job?
I think it's a positive sign. Riley Reif is, nothing spectacular.
We know what he is.
Right? And if Borum won that job outright, like you said a few weeks ago, then that's nothing but positive. If they're kind of just giving it to Borum, then that's potentially an issue. But I think he looked okay in the 10 or 12 snaps they had last week. There was some videos floating around Twitter that basically said the Bears O-line was failing Justin Fields, but the pockets looked fairly clean to me outside of a few running back and tight end miscues. And then, they've been blitzed a lot more this preseason than ever before. What do you make of the offensive line in general, Lucas, in the Seattle game? I know you didn't watch the whole thing, but first team, what'd you think?
Yeah, I definitely got to see, the first drive or two when Fields was in there. They started out with that tight end screen. I mean, I agree with you. I think, they had some nice pockets. You know, his Fields still kind of does the thing where he almost sacks himself, where he'll go through his reads really quick and then try and just kind of jump out of the way or check it down, and kind of creates pressure on himself if he's moving around. And, the O line, I think we talked about this before, where there's definitely an adjustment for offensive linemen when they have a mobile quarterback. The pocket moves all the time, depending on wherever the quarterback wants to go, obviously. So the linemen kind of need a few weeks to get used to that chemistry with the quarterback they're working with. So, that'll be something to keep our eye on as we move forward. How does, Braxton Jones, for example, develop with Fields and guys like that who are newer on the line? Overall, I do think the line is still a little bit shaky. It's not like Seattle has a daunting pass rush, and it did seem like they got some pressure on the QB. So, some things to clean up, but not necessarily pressing the panic button yet. Really got to see these guys in, live game action to do that. On that front, even though it's just preseason, I'm glad to see Getsy doing, he knows, it seems like the coaching staff isn't sugarcoating anything. They know, this line will take a little bit to adjust and work together and gel. They're doing max protect. They're doing, all kinds of stuff. They're rolling Fields out. So they're doing the right things in regards to putting them in the best position to succeed. So that's definitely a positive note on that front. But for preseason game 2, I'm not really panicking about anything yet. I think it's far too premature for that.
Yeah, for sure. I thought Fields, like you said, I don't know. He seems to be rushing the decision making, and maybe that's just what he's been told, and that he can slow it down later. At least that's the hope, and better that he's processing too fast than too slow. So, and to your point with the offensive line and the chemistry, and a mobile quarterback, they need to get. I mean, there's no telling where he's going to go with it. Consistently, he's tried to go outside, which lateral is never a good idea, whether you're a running back or a quarterback trying to beat,
Right.
4-4 linebackers to the edge, or, beat a defensive tackle to the outside when, he's already there. So Fields learning to step up in the pocket, trust his interior offensive line. And if they fail him, I get it. He's almost got to reset away from last year where that was happening on a consistent basis, and learn to manipulate the pocket rather than just bail out, which
Right.
honestly, people were giving him a lot of credit towards the end of last year, as him, making the decision to bail out quickly and run, but he was picking running lanes, not just running outside where he thought he still thinks he can beat people to the sidelines with his speed, and that's just not going to work at the NFL level. Everybody's as fast as he is.
And
So
sometimes it is okay to throw the ball away too. Like if there's, if the pocket's really collapsing, there's nowhere to go. Instead of running outside, you can also, you don't always need to scramble. You can throw the ball away and save yourself some hits.
yeah, for sure. So with the O line, the chemistry is one of the things I talked about, a few weeks ago, is getting the line set so that they would start to develop that continuity, so that they would gel together, and also be able to work with Fields and know what he's going to do, what he wants to do, how they can protect him to the best of their ability, and also let him know, hey man, we can't help you if you're going to do that every time, or whatever the case may be.
Right.
So let's it looks like the line for the most part could be set, at least at the guards and tackle spot. Center is, probably Mustafa, most likely game 1. I mean, if Patrick's not back yet, I don't know if he's going to be back in a week, in 2.5 weeks or whatever it is, to play on September 11th.
Honestly, so I can't sit here and say, I've been paying too close attention to exactly Sam Mustafer these past few weeks, but scouts on Twitter, people on Twitter have actually said that he's looked better than he has in previous years. So I just thought that was interesting when I saw it. I don't make too much of it, but I've I like I like him in kind of a developmental backup center role. I think he's fine there. Lucas Patrick will come back and take over the starting role, but Mustafer is interesting. I mean, I know we give him, kind of a lot of shit, but for what he is, he's kind of undersized and an undrafted guy. Um, as a backup developmental prospect, I don't hate it. So, if people are saying he's looking better, then that's a positive development as well. Um, Looks like Tevin Jenkins. I mean, last game I thought Tevin Jenkins had a pretty good game, especially in run support. Did you watch him at all closely last game, Chris?
I mean, it was what, like 7 to 10 plays. So no, I didn't really watch him all that closely. Just tried to watch the offense as a whole, and it was fine. I mean, it wasn't. It looked like a group of guys that need to work together. That need more time. That need more reps against live competition. So I think Jenkins was okay. I think he'll continue to be fine in that guard role. Uh, but we'll see.
Yeah. Overall, again, the once the starters came out, it seemed like the Bears kind of just uh, the Seahawks are bad. I don't know how. I know it's preseason. The Seahawks had Geno Smith out there for damn near a whole half, and the Bears kicked his teeth in. I don't know how anyone could watch that game at all and say the Bears are the worst team in the NFL. I think Seattle is going to be absolutely terrible.
Yeah, Lewis Riddick seems to think they are like a quarterback away from just being phenomenal, and I don't,
Dude, what
I
was
don't see
up with that, man? They were really laying into the Bears for just the most random things as the Bears were destroying Seattle, and it was just like I don't know. It was a very bizarre broadcast with Dan Orlovsky and Lewis Riddick, who now seem to be sworn enemies of the Bears for whatever reason,
Yeah, and I've
and the
tried it.
national media as a whole too. Man. It was very bizarre. I don't know how that was the takeaway of that game.
Well, I think they set themselves up for failure when they start to derive these narratives before they can even see how anything plays out. They're like, oh, well, they have rookie O linemen and they didn't bring in any wide receivers and this, that, and the other thing. They just start to build these cases for why the Bears should be bad or why a team should be bad, and they don't see like if it's going to work or not, and it still might not. It could be very, not work out well, but at least let it play out. At least like watch the game. And it's funny because I think Greg Gabriel went after Orlovsky for some of his commentary, and he snapped back at Gabriel and was like, oh, it was, I think it was around like the linebacker play or something like that with Roquan, and that Orlovsky didn't know what he was talking about. And Dan tried to backtrack and say he did, and was actually talking about being an off-ball linebacker versus the Sam linebacker or something like that, and it was just weird. Um, but on Get Up the next morning, the ESPN show, they doubled down on it. They show the score of the Bears winning 27-11. And again, like we said, it's preseason, but that's an ass kicking. And they're just still talking about how shitty the Bears are and how potentially good Seattle is and how this, top 10 left tackle or whatever is so good. And this other right tackle that they have for Seattle is so good. And they didn't look so good. And Geno Smith and even when he gets back, Drew Lock can't hit the broadside of a barn. So I can't imagine how Seattle is going to be worth two shits, let alone be decent this season and not
Right.
below a Bears team that played pretty well. And I think Joe Gaither, who joins us now, said it last week. Trevor Siemian is the ideal backup quarterback and actually looked pretty solid. Joe, how are you this evening, my friend? Had some
Yeah, welcome in.
technical difficulties relocating to the house?
Yeah, just nice little run in with the blue lights. That's all right. Oh well, that's what happens sometimes. I'm good, but yeah, Trevor Simeon, and we'll just keep your train of thought going. Trevor Simeon looks like a ideal backup quarterback. He looks like he's confident in the pocket. Looks like he knows what's going on with the offense, delivers the ball quickly. Um, I enjoyed what I saw out of pretty much the first half of the Seahawks game. I watched the first half and I thought that I had seen pretty much enough of of our Bears. So I think that the brief moments that I had with Adam Amin on the telephone, lining him up as one of our guests on the radio, we he
Oh, you did?
yeah, he comes on every so often, for one of our shows. I guess he's good buddies with one of our hosts, and he said, then the Bears don't look like the most talented team, but they look well coached through 2 weeks. They look really well coached through two preseason weeks.
Yeah, Joe,
Hey,
we were talking about the offensive line before you hopped on, and just that first series and first 10 snaps or so. Um, what'd you see out of that group?
Well, they were run first. It seems like out of Luke Getsy's game plan, and obviously the most starting unit wasn't in very long, but they took their only drive. What, 60-ish yards, 60-ish yards for a field goal attempt. I mean, obviously you want to get into the end zone there, but not not too bad in my opinion. Really, without David Montgomery and your boy Komet was pretty active and really looked like a weapon in the middle of the field. I was I was pretty pleased with it. I was kind of watching it out of the corner of my eye today, rewatching it. I was pretty pleased with it. Uh, I think the Bears are going to surprise some teams that may take them not as seriously as they need to.
Hmm.
I totally agree with you on the well coach thing. I mean, I think they only committed 2 penalties, I think, in those 2 games. So, and you can tell, like I said, we said before, the backups is very evident that they're buying into the hits philosophy, which is just good to see. Teams buy into what the coach is putting down, and I'm glad to see the coach kind of making adjustments. And Joe, before you hopped on, me and Chris discussed it. They're not really sugarcoating it. They're coming out. They're max protecting Fields. They're blocking with 6 guys. They're rolling the quarterback out. They're having design checkdowns on every play. I mean, it's, say what you will, high school offense, whatever. It's what we need to do right now,
It
and
looks like a
it's
real offense. It doesn't look like everybody run to the sticks and turn around.
right. It's just good to see. Just some competent train of thought here for what you're given. So, uh, you know, we can take what we want out of that game, but moving on here, we got the Browns coming up. Um, we have we have a week off, and then we have the regular season. The Bears have a few injuries, right? They got we mentioned Lucas Patrick is still waiting to come back. Um, Bayless Jones, did we get an update on him? They said he was hurt and not practicing. I don't really know if they disclosed what his
He's
injury was.
got the old age. That's what's wrong with him.
He had that nice punt return. He looked like he was blazing on that. Who else do they have out? Jaquan Brisker had I saw a photo of him with a wrap on his hand. I don't know if his status is up in the air for week 1. What other major injuries are the Bears dealing with? Montgomery, I think he should be back by week 1.
Is
Is there anyone I'm missing?
Lucas Patrick is back to practice, I believe.
He wasn't practicing. He was just there.
Oh, okay.
But he hasn't been there much before, so it's a positive sign. I think those are the 4 main injuries. Brisker is kind of the big one. We would like to see him be ready for week 1, especially against that 49ers run game. Yeah, I think those are the major injuries we're dealing with. We had Roquan back at camp today. Apparently, his first play back, he stuffed a running back in the backfield for a tackle for loss, and the whole team went nuts for him. So we got the Roquan back in action. Joe, I know you had a lot to say about the situation, but it sounds like he's finally just came to his senses and said, "Screw it, I'm playing."
Yeah, but it seemed more like a middle finger to the Bears franchise, and it also looked like he realized, oh, nobody's going to trade for me and give me a big contract. I mean, in the end, does it matter? I guess not. He's going to be playing this year, and obviously he's playing for a new contract. I wonder what it looks like for us in 7 months, 8 months or so. But I guess I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves as Bears fans. Let's just live in the right now. Living in the right now, you get your stud inside linebacker back, and that is going to help your run defense. And, I think it's a good thing, but I still have a little bit of a salty taste in my mouth. I guess that'll probably go away when he makes his first big play in week number 2 against the Green Bay Packers. He could have a dominant game against the 49ers, but really week number 2 is where I want him to really make a big splash. I think that pretty much sums it up. I am still a little bit salty because it seems like he's an idiot. It seems like he's being influenced by people who are not very well in the know. But that's what it seems like to me from hundreds of miles away. So it's not. I understand that's probably not a completely true picture, but yeah, still a little salty, but very happy to have him back.
He seems massively immature to me. Just like very, very immature. So I don't know. I'm glad to have him back. He, betting on himself or whatever, he's going to play this year out and could very easily get I think they asked him how he felt about being playing on the tag next year if that were to happen, and he said it would pay him twice what he makes now, so he didn't really care. So that would be like 18 or 19 million, and he's still under what he asked for. So whatever, man. I mean, he got offered a pretty good deal from the way it's shaking out. The Adam Schefter report that, other executives thought it was a pretty good deal that Poles offered him makes it sound more accurate because nobody's trading for him. Nobody wants to give him this deal. St. Omni can't get him any, trades or anything like that. So he needs to get an agent, man. Roquan he's not being very business savvy, in my opinion. And, that's not going to help him long term. So,
I mean, I thought that athletic article that came out was pretty interesting. I mean, we've kind of said, you said about what Schefter said, but we had the athletic article that came out, I think, what was it, last Friday or something? Basically, the article highlighted that, no team really wanted to give up the amount of money he was asking for in addition to a draft pick. So kind of just reaffirms everything that we said, that, trading him would be tough and you're not going to get, a huge haul for him. And the fact that other GMs kind of feel the same way is just should be reassuring to us, that Ryan Poles probably did have his evaluation right. And they called, they cited him in the article saying he's a good, not a great player. So very kind of interesting, just not a turn of events, but just a little twist in the series of events that kind of confirms what we've been hearing and, kind of goes against everything Roquan's been telling us. So interesting. I just think it's
so
interesting.
Misinformed. And that's what makes me wonder, like, is he on drugs? Is he
now's his chance to prove it. If he has a Darius Leonard type season, sure, we can talk about giving him $20 million, but it means he's going to have to force 5 to 8 turnovers this year. We'll see if it happens.
He can't catch.
Deep boy.
Exactly. Yeah. You want it? Be a first team All Pro, be in that depoy conversation, then we can talk about $20 million per year.
So let's move on because I don't want to talk about it anymore. But you talked about injuries a little bit, Lucas. One guy that came back from injury was Kyler Gordon. Had a little bit of a rough game, but could easily be attributed to not being at practice for a while previously. Apparently had a good day at practice today, so we're looking forward to watching him in the upcoming Cleveland Browns game against. Is Deshaun Watson going to play for them? Is that what's no?
They said he's not playing.
Well, he can play, right? Because it's exhibition, but he's suspended for 11 games. So
correct.
What's the point?
The coach said they're not playing him. So
yeah,
whoever the coach is,
probably
Stefanski.
Man,
who's their QB?
Jacoby Brissett.
I was going to say, is it Brissett? That's hilarious.
They should trade for Jimmy Garoppolo.
Oh, that would just be it. If I was Jimmy G, I would not want to go there.
Where you going? Where you want to go if you're Jimmy G? Carolina?
Pretty sure he has a no trade clause. I don't know.
Well, what does that have to do with where do you want to go if you're Jimmy G?
Oh. I just mean like I think he has a say in where he ends up.
Would like Carson Wentz die or something?
Carson Wentz sucks.
But that's not the point. They traded for Carson Wentz already. Why would they turn around and trade for Jimmy G?
Where is a good place for Jimmy G? That's a good question.
Seattle.
Seattle, yeah.
Seattle.
Hey, Lewis Riddick told us they're a quarterback away.
They're Jimmy G
away. I
away.
watched that game on mute, thankfully. Like, it sounded like they were just trashing the Bears. Did they not realize the Bears went pretty much straight down the field? I mean, yes, you got stopped in the red zone, but the first team offense went pretty much straight down the field on the first drive.
My favorite thing is, like, I don't know why people think Geno Smith is any good. Like, he had that
he had that one
shining moment last year where he had to come in for Wilson during the thumb injury issues, and he had an okay few weeks or whatever, probably against shit teams, and now they think he's good. Like, I don't know if you guys saw a couple of balls straight down the middle. Geno just missed by like 5, like bad. So they're not good. I don't understand.
They're tanking for Bryce Young.
I would say there's certain teams who are kind of just like the I guess you could say like the NFL's darling. You know, even the Seahawks, I feel like Pete Carroll's wildly overrated as a coach, but I feel like he's, you know, a lot of people really respect him. So it's just like if he's coaching there, you automatically assume the Seattle Seahawks will be competitive or whatever. When in reality, Russell Wilson has been. My big thing about Russell Wilson is that the Seattle Seahawks have sucked for years, and he's just absolutely carried that team on his back for like
totally agree.
The past decade. I mean, the one year, you know, they had a great defense for a few years, but outside of that,
I mean, their offensive line has been trash.
Brutal. Dude, they waited till they got rid of Russell Wilson to draft 2 tackles, which is ironically hilarious. But
well, is that how they got the 2 tackles though? Is because they had those picks from that trade?
Well, that's true. I'm saying it's ironic that this was the year they went to go address it. It's like, so I don't know, but yeah, the Seahawks are going to be bad. Really
bad. Are we
bad.
still in the same camp that, you know, I talked to a buddy today who's an outsider. He's a Patriots fan, and you know, really any non-Bears fans that I talk to are all, y'all are gonna be so bad. Y'all are gonna win 4 games. You're gonna be so bad. And I sat there and I said, dude, we're gonna win between 6 and 11 games. So like 6 at the floor, 11 on the ceiling. And we went through the schedule, and he was, lost. Can we step back a little bit, take the glasses off? Are we being crazy by putting them in that range? I mean, yeah, 11's a little high, but 6 is not that much when you look through the schedule. I know we've done this before, but like we're on the precipice of the season really getting started, and we've seen now 2 weeks worth of preseason. We're starting to see this team kind of take some shape. Am I crazy to put them in that in that range for you know, I don't want to call it success, but in that range for results?
I don't know if I see the upper side of 11. I kind of see a max of like maybe 8, but I don't think. I think they're their floor is definitely higher than a lot of the really bad teams like the Seahawks and the Falcons and teams like that. I think the floor is higher. So yeah, I do think people are a little bit kind of just underestimating the Bears just because it's the in thing to do and it's easy to pick on them. So
yeah, a fella told me, Joe, do you not realize you're one of the bottom 3 teams in football? I'm like, no, they're not.
I mean, the Giants are starting to give Tyrod Taylor reps because Daniel Jones sucks. So that team's a mess. I mean, you got the Seahawks, you got the Falcons, like we said, and then you got
Texans.
I mean, we
Texans.
have 3 of those teams on our schedule.
Yeah, and then you got always the surprise team, the Panthers. You have the surprise team that always comes out and someone gets hurt, and it's like a random team will be bad too. So, will the Bears be a top 15 team? Probably not. But no, I don't see them. I don't see them being bottom 3. Even the Lions. I think the Lions are still worse than the Bears, to be honest with you.
Yes, they'll split with the Lions at worst.
Chris is giving me that face. What?
They've had a top 10 pick for like 15 years in a row. They better be better now. They actually look pretty good.
We're going to work hard.
Their defense is terrible,
water more than anyone else. We're going to take you into deep water, and when you can't tread water, we're going to drown you. Oh!
I think their defense is still really bad.
Aiden Hutchinson that's not true.
No,
that's just not true.
That good.
He okay.
I still don't think one player is going to change their defense. Their secondary is atrocious.
Well, they get Ogden back, or what's his name? The kid that got hurt. Yeah, the kid that got hurt last year.
I'll believe it when I see it, but I don't think the Lions are ahead of the Bears right now.
I just don't like taking any team for granted.
No, but a split. Would you say a split is safe?
A split is possible. I mean,
possible? I thought that's safe. Win the home game?
Yeah, it's possible. High probability. I don't know about safe. I mean, that's fucking favoring Chicago to win by more than a touchdown. I don't know about safe. Nothing is safe.
I don't know. When I just go through the schedule, I mean, you don't think the Bears are going to have a good chance?
Listen, at the same time that we know the Bears better than, all of our friends who only watch national media.
I hate talking Bears with my friends.
Right? They only know what ESPN and NFL Network tell them because they don't follow like the Adam Hogues and Adam Johns. They're not connected with the team, just like we're not connected with these other teams. So we have a preconceived notion of who these other teams are based on probably what national media tells us. I'm not like following the local beat writers of the Panthers or the fucking Lions or anybody like that. So I don't know if they're going to be any good or turn it around. So I just don't want to say like the teams that have been historically bad are going to continue to be historically bad when I just don't know.
That's fair. And you bring up a good point. Like I despise talking Bears with people who don't, really know the team, who don't know a lot of the circumstances, who I absolutely hate it. And like everybody knows that I'm a Bears fan, and I wear all the gear all the time, and so like they want to talk to me about it, and I'm just like, dude, I don't want to talk. Like I probably come off so rude.
I don't want to talk about it. Well, Joe, what's ironically funny about what you said about the Patriots fan is that the Boston media here has said they are the one guy who's been covering the team said it's the worst he's ever seen the Patriots in the past 25 years.
And
he said Matt,
dude,
he said Matt Patricia just has no idea how to coach the offensive line, and they're installing the Shanahan system like we are, except they have 0 coaches from that tree there to install it. So they're just blindly teaching these guys an offense that none of them have experience in. And apparently Mac Jones is pissed off. He's playing terrible in camp, and the line can't block anyone.
He goes, "Oh well, we're gonna have it figured out by the time we put a $30 wager on Bears Patriots straight up, just for the fun of it." I was like, dude, we got like 11 days off in between that Commanders game on Thursday.
I'm going to
night.
that. I'll be there on that Monday Night Football.
There you go. And I'm just like, dude, we are going to beat y'all.
Yeah, people are saying that. I mean, the beat writers at least are demolishing how bad the Patriots look.
It's just a smoke screen. Bill knows what he's doing. I'm just like, what are you talking about, man?
Man, East Coast media destroys their teams no matter what, though. Like, I swear to God, when the Yankees were, 50 games over 500, all the New York media could do was trash them. And same thing with the Mets, and same thing like with the Giants and Jets. All the East Coast media does is talk about how shitty
That's New York,
their
though.
teams are.
That's New York.
Well, it's the same in Boston.
Nah, I think New York's definitely got that rip, to be honest. I've never heard anything that negative in my life about the Patriots since I've been up here.
Yeah.
This has just been, I mean, they make good points. They've said they have no one on their staff who knows that offense, and it's just like, why are they installing it?
Yeah, that's
and
dumb.
They brought
Mac
in
Jones doesn't fit that style.
It's so weird. Yeah. Yeah.
Mac Jones, he's a winner, man. He's a winner.
We'll see, man. I don't know, but I'm with you, Joe.
Nobody listens to this show from from Alabama, bro. He's so
dude. I'm the
fired
one
up.
that trashes Mac Jones, and people are like, Joe, you're crazy. I'm like, no, he sucks. Like, you'll see. I cannot wait for him to be so bad this year. I can't wait. I'm gonna get on every Monday after he throws 3 interceptions and just laugh.
Well, dude, wasn't that the thing last year? Like, everyone and their mom knew last year that Mac Jones was ahead of every other rookie QB. That was his thing for being drafted, was that, he'll step in right away and he'll be a contributor. Now the question is he going to get better? Who knows? But that's why he was a first round pick last year. He was NFL ready from the get go.
NFL ready to be a lifetime backup.
He's fine. He'll be serviceable. We'll see.
Okay, would you rather have? I got 3 of them. All right, would you rather have Mac Jones or Jimmy G?
Like for this coming year?
No, to build your team around.
I'll take a bullet.
You got to pick one, Joe.
I didn't say that. That's
okay. If I have to pick, give me the guy who played in the Super Bowl.
All right. Would you rather have Jimmy G or Jared Goff?
Oh my gosh, you're killing me! Another bullet, Jimmy G.
Jimmy G, that's easy.
Another bullet, please.
Well, I mean, shit, man. I didn't think it was. It's not like Joe said, man. The guy's played in the Super Bowl and was one game away from doing it again.
Joe, I got one for you. Would you rather have Mac Jones or Tua?
Tua. Oh, I was
gonna say like Tua's like that seems like an easy one. All right, Mac.
I'd rather have Mac Jones, to be honest with you. I think
Mac Jones or Mitch Trubisky
this year. Go ahead, Chris.
Mac Jones or Trubisky?
Mitchell. Give me Mitchell.
Still riding Still riding that jock, bro. Dude, I think Pickett starts.
Reliever.
I think Pickett starts there before we know it.
He probably will.
It might be like week 4, if that. He actually looks really good.
Bill Belichick could have gotten a lot of goodies out of Mitchell Trubisky and saved that draft pick. Save that 15th overall draft pick.
He should have just traded back for Jimmy G, dude. That would have been hilarious. Just give me Garoppolo back. I'll give you a third. He trades him for a second, gets him back for a third 2 years later.
Jones is a bleeping trash can, bro.
I mean,
he was fine.
He was fine. Yeah.
I think I'd rather build a team around him than Tua.
They had literally no weapons.
Watch what happens this year with Tua. He's gonna light the world on fire.
Oh, I bet he does. Mike McDaniels thinks he's got the most accurate left-handed ball he's ever seen.
It's going to be the Tua revenge tour, and all the haters for the last 2 years will go silent.
The revenge tour. So on the other side of the ball with the defense, and I think Brisker should be back by week 1. Kyler Gordon, I did hear had a better day in camp today.
Who's Jack corner next to him or on the outside?
I think it's Lamar Jackson, but I'm not sure.
Gee whiz.
He's coming over from Baltimore. There's no way, dude. I mean, he must be doing something right. When's this what's his name gonna make some plays? The kid they signed that was supposed to be the nickel.
He's hurt. He ain't coming back.
Ever?
I don't know.
When's Thomas
Tavon Young? Is that who you're talking?
Yeah, Tavon Young. When's Thomas Graham gonna step up and get some PT?
Thomas Graham is a.
They're all hurt, dude.
God bless America. It's not good.
Thomas Graham is a solid football player.
Who else is playing linebacker?
This is a good topic of discussion because, obviously people see what Pickens did in this first preseason game and they're like, oh, I wanted him so bad. If you really step back and look at it, who the hell were the Bears going to try out there at cornerback? You pick Pickens, you're going to go out there with Kendall Vildor and whatever I said his name was, Lamar Jackson as your corners?
No,
brilliant.
You still have Johnson, dude.
Yeah, the teams can just throw to the other side of him like they did all last year.
Yeah. It would have been Johnson, Vildor, which probably still could be, and freaking Young or Graham. Obviously, we didn't know they were going to be hurt then, so you can't plan for that. But that's who you would have tried it out there. Would have been
my overall point is that the Bears would have just kind of a revolving door at cornerback, which is arguably more important than wide receiver. So,
yeah, agreed.
There's two sides to every story. Is my point.
I'll fucking remember that one. All right, linebacker. All right, is Jack Sanborn gonna make a push to get some PT or what? I mean, he had another good game.
Yeah, I think right now, who is it? Matt Adams is playing their Mike.
Didn't he get hurt?
Yeah, he did get hurt. Up.
I don't know if that's serious or not. I didn't see too many injury reports yet. This last game will be interesting. I mean, I don't know. Adams played with Eberflus in Indianapolis, so he might really have a leg up starting, to be honest. But I think Sanborn will definitely be a special teams player, big special teams contributor right away. And I think he'll be nipping at the heels all year of whoever's playing linebacker because I think he's that type of dude. So,
yeah, I think he fits the hits philosophy. He scrapes and he gets himself in the middle of the mess or whatever's going on. They were talking about the hits philosophy a little bit on the Hogan Johns show and talking about how what's the defensive end that Muhammad
Kadeem Muhammad.
Yeah, Kadeem Muhammad ran somebody down from behind on a play that he was completely out of. And that
the pass rushers looked not too bad the last two games.
Dude, the Bears have some stud backup. Well, preseason stud backup rushers.
I mean, there's no Khalil Mack out there, but they still got some pressure in the two preseason games.
That Coley dude, I've never even heard of him before. He has 3 sacks or 4 sacks in the 2 games. Coley. And Sam Kamara actually has, I think he had 9 or 10 pressures on the QB. So, yeah, definitely
I know a lot of people liked Kamara last year. So be interesting to see if he makes the squad. So we had our first so cuts go down to 80 tomorrow, right? Or is it
I think tomorrow? It was today. They let go. We let go of Daz Newsome today.
Did y'all cry over Daz?
Who?
Did y'all already cry over Daz while I was
No, dude. I've been waiting for him to go after he dropped that pass in the first week.
Dropped a punt, dropped a pass, dropped his ass, Daz's ass.
Goodbye.
We'll see a lot of the former regime's players disappear over time. Obviously over time, but probably quicker than we would have just watching them hang on. Like Riley Ridley would have never made it in this regime.
Jeez. Riley Ridley. Hey, did you guys see our boy Trenton Gill hit some nice punts? Did he score? He basically scored us a touchdown. Made that guy muff it on the goal line.
He made him muff it? What did he do? He put some Crisco on the ball before he kicked it.
Yes, sir. And
That's
then
amazing.
Elijah Hicks was there to get it.
Elijah Hicks. No idea who that is.
That's the safety we drafted in the last round that did a backflip or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Or no, the push-ups. He was doing the push-ups. That's what it was.
Neat. Push-ups are cool.
How many can you do, Chris?
Push-ups? Dude, so we were at a concert last Friday, Joe. And like the last song comes and the singer's like, all right, when this beat drops, everybody jump. So I started jumping, bro. I've never felt so old in my whole life. I could barely jump. And I used to I know I'm a old man and whatnot, but I used to be fairly athletic and be able to, jump and get close to dunking the basketball. So jumping was just, I could not believe how old I felt. I was just like, this is awful. This is terrible. So push-ups, 2, 4,
6, 8.
I would appreciate myself if I could do 8 push-ups, but I don't know. We'll see.
That's good.
I'll give you. I'll bust them out in the morning when I'm fresh. I'll let you know.
Give me a max set and let's see how many you can do.
When the numbers drop, I'll go do them.
Well, do you guys have any other overlying information? I almost said Mets information, Bears information.
No, I'm just looking forward to see because I think we're gonna get a pretty good picture on
full
Saturday.
half of starters, baby.
Yeah, I think we're
Up
gonna
to a full half.
get a good picture. Looking forward to see Tevin Jenkins continue to play guard. It seems like he made a big old stink about that. Was a lot of his stink.
Oh, yeah, we didn't talk about that. We talked about Jenkins, but do you guys think that's why he was upset? That's what the rumor is, that they wanted to move him to guard and he didn't want to play there. Joe?
Dude, whatever gets me on the field is what I'm going to play, Coach.
Right, but do you think that's what it was?
I mean, it's what seems most likely at this point. Like weirdly, unless it really was an injury, but like it seemed like it wasn't an injury. It seemed like there was some sort of attitude / philosophy going on. But shoot, I was a very, very average high school player, but Coach, put me wherever you think I'll get on the field. I just wanted to play.
Yeah, it's kind of a poor attitude if that's what it's about, for sure. Well, that's all I got. I got nothing. Chris, Joe, concluding thoughts?
What time's the game on Saturday?
Noon, right?
1 Eastern time, I think.
Noon Central. What are your mountain time? So 11?
11 a.m. So regular game time. I'll probably have to figure it out on some sort of who's covering it. Is it Fox?
Yeah, it's a Bears home game.
So Fox. All right, I'll figure it out on Chicago Fox station.
Wait. Oh, it's 7 p.m.
Oh, really?
I thought it was 1 for some reason.
Me too.
Well, this is going all over the place.
It's 7 p.m. The Bears are 4.5-point dogs, and the over/under is 40.5.
Yep, that's exactly right. They're at the Browns as well, so it's not. Wow, I was all off.
I could have swore it was 1 o'clock as well, Joe.
Hot mess over there.
Well, if I talk to Adam Amin, I'll let you know what he says in the 30 seconds that I get to talk to him.
30 seconds is not terrible, though. It's a decent amount of time.
He's a nice fellow. He's a great fellow.
He's a great fella. Yeah, Adam.
All right, Joe Gaither, take us home.
Bear down, Chicago Bears. Make every play, clear the way to victory. 11 of them, bear down, Chicago Bears. Put up a fight with the might so fearlessly. We'll never forget the way you throw the nation. With your T formation, bear down, Chicago Bears. And let them know why you're wearing the crown. You're the pride and joy of Illinois, Chicago Bears.